Ta-da! Cool. We
both
both got
good
on
on
the
the
first
first
try.
That was awesome.
You may not know the name of Sharon Rechter yet, but if you're a Facebook user, I can almost guarantee you've seen one of the videos produced by her media business, First Media. The company, run by Rechter and her husband, is a multi-platform media company that creates content and experiences that, quote, spark creativity in women and moms everywhere. Their life hack style videos targeted to women receive more than 900 million video views per month, you guys. It was recently announced that the company's top Facebook publisher, Blossom, created the most shared video on Facebook of all time with 11 million shares and 347 million views. First Media evolved from Rechter and her husband's first venture, Baby First, which is the leading commercial-free 24/7 network for young children and their parents. Founded in 2004, Baby First and its apps and programs are now part of the First Media umbrella and is broadcast in more than 120 million households in over 35 countries. Before Baby First, she served as a vice president of a television network, and before that, as a recovering lawyer, she says. She used her knowledge to head the strategic planning department at GNS Advertising in Israel. She did all of this and runs her team of 90 employees with her husband, and they have 4 children under the age of 10. So you can understand why I was excited to meet with her at their headquarters in Los Angeles, California, and ask her about succeeding in television, creating viral videos, balancing her responsibilities and roles, and much more. If you're in broadcasting or television, if you're a podcaster, author, YouTuber, or content marketer, you will love this interview.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of The Pursuit. I'm Kelsey Humphreys, here with Sharon Rechter, the founder of Baby First and First Media now. And we are here. I wish you guys could really see, but there's a small space with an amazing team that puts out some incredible content, as we're going to talk about. So thank you so much for letting us come in today.
Thank you for having me. We're excited.
So you have such an interesting history. You just told me off camera you're a recovering lawyer. I love that.
I am. Still recovering.
And I kind of want to go through your journey, especially, Baby First. But before that, maybe talk about, working your way up in the corporate world, in the TV world, which is also something really competitive, crazy hours. So how did you get into television before starting Baby First?
So I'll start with the fact that I am a recovering lawyer, that found out that I really hate law with a passion. And I did not want to consult. I wanted to build. And from there I went to work in as a strategic planner in an ad agency.
Okay.
Became head of strategic planning, really fought hard for the Pepsi bid. And met my husband, who was head of strategic planning in another agency. He won, I lost, but it was a good reason to go on a date, find out why. So, and from there moved to New York to head the Israeli Network, which is a Hebrew-speaking television channel in the United States. I always found, I maybe refer more to a women's upclimb, is that we can do it. I was in a very tough negotiation. And it was stuck. There was nothing to do. And I call my father, who's one of my mentors, and I say, Dad, what do I do? It's so stuck. And he says, well, if all else fails, use your feminine power. And I said, what do you mean? He says, cry. You can just cry. A man can't resist a woman who's crying.
Wow.
You can cry. I didn't cry.
Okay.
I don't cry.
I don't either.
But it was interesting because it gave me perspective that what others may perceive as we are blocked, we have a weakness. If we turn it around, in the business world, we can actually play it as an advantage. And I think in many ways I look at it as that as women, we have not less opportunities, but different opportunities, and it's up to us to grab them.
So before talking about going out on your own in that corporate setting, what's your advice for the women watching who are still in corporate America, probably like you have the itch to go out on their own, but right now maybe they're just working their way up? What do you think is some good tools, tactics for them to work their way up in the corporate world?
So I always think that team players do better. So one has to be a team player. You don't have to agree with what everybody else is saying, but you have to do it wisely. You have to gain for your ideas, and I highly recommend having ideas and pushing for your ideas, but do it in a collaborative manner. Work with the people around you, and not necessarily the people that are above you, but with the people around you, sometimes from different departments, to get fans for your idea. Push it, shine, and then grow for other opportunities. But my personal philosophy is that for a woman to have it all, and I have 4 children, I like to think I have.
Yeah, I feel like you have it all.
I have a formula. I don't know if it's the best formula, but it's my formula. Is a woman needs to master her time.
Okay.
What's a woman who masters her time can either be independent, which means I go on trips, I travel a lot, I miss my kids like crazy, but I plan my trips so I will never miss a field trip. So I master my time. But in the corporate world, there are other ways of doing it, and one should pick not their next job, but their path. What is your path? When you think of, even at the early stage, what is your path? That not today, not tomorrow, work hard when you can put in all the long hours, but what is your path that eventually will put you in a position where you're paid enough and given enough flexibility to manage your time? Does that make sense?
Yes, I love it. Okay, so you have the idea for Baby First, or tell us how you got together with your partner, which was also through your advertising career, right?
Yes.
Guy. But then also I want to know, like, were you sitting around thinking about baby content because you had babies, and then how did it become what it is today?
So, Guy, who is both my partner and my husband.
Oh. Well, I should have picked up on that in my research. But I looked and it
First we dated, then we started
it.
working together, which is a whole different topic, and I find super interesting about working with the man you trust the most.
This would have been like a whole new set of questions. Okay, I got to get locked and loaded. All right.
So, Guy and myself, Guy followed me to New York, and we were looking for things to do, and he got offered all these great jobs in advertising, but something within us burned to do something ourselves, but we didn't know what to do. One day we had friends come over for dinner. We did not have kids at that time. They had with them 1 baby, 2 bottles, 3 diapers, and 10 baby DVDs. And I was like, what is it? Why do you have all that? And they said with the straightest face, it makes my child smarter. And we laughed, and the entire dinner conversation was, do you really believe anything on a box? And can a DVD make your child smarter? But when Guy and I investigated further, what we found out was that this was an $800 million business with 0 supervision. So anybody could take a video of a puppy, put classical music, and claim it was educational.
Wow.
So what Guy and I set to do was offer really good educational content supported by the top experts and make it accessible to consumers for less than the price of a baby DVD. That was our mission. But we have grown so much since, and today our cable network, Baby First, which is now in 60 million homes, watched by 55% of moms with a baby, and has a really strong advertisers. Women VPVH has led us to creating content for women, content for millennial women. And now what we do is, you can see our pages on Facebook, Blossom, So Yummy, Blusher. We create content that women want to see. Content that makes me as a mom, but us as women, shine. And it's about simple life hacks that make your life easy, do-it-yourself projects, great cooking tips, and beauty tips that you didn't even know existed. And we today generate 1.7 billion organic videos. Organic means we never pay for a view.
Amazing.
But what we're most proud of, honestly, is our share rate. People share our videos. We 100% rely on people loving our videos and sharing our videos. If you don't share a video, it won't become viral. But to us, it's bigger than that. It's about a woman saying, I love this. I'm going to tell all my friends about it. How rewarding is that for us content creators?
Yeah.
It makes us so happy and proud and love what we do. And it also makes my daughters proud.
Yeah, that's okay. We've got a whole set of questions I want to talk to you about your content strategy and the different Facebook pages. But before we get to that, I mean, walk us through a little bit more of the steps. You guys research the industry. You realize there's a
Social
huge
media?
opportunity. No, for Baby First.
Okay.
You see that it's a huge opportunity. You guys, you go get a round of funding, or what were the next steps? And then distribution. you're a small little a small network, and then you get distribution for over what, 60 million
cable homes.
Coming up, don't miss her #1 piece of advice for achieving success. But first, I want to remind you that if you love these celebrity interviews, there are 3 ways you can support this show, this free show here on the internet, you guys. First, you can like this video and share it with your hustler and dreamer friends. Second, you can subscribe to the channel. And lastly, you can sign up to join Pursuit Nation. When you do, I will give you my top 10 success hacks for real life. How do we take all the tactics in these interviews with millionaires and celebrities and actually apply them to pursuing our own dream? That's what I break down in this PDF. Get your free copy at thepursuit.tv/top10. Walk us through a little bit more of the steps. You guys research the industry, you realize there's a huge opportunity. No, for Baby First.
Okay.
You see that it's a huge opportunity. You guys, you go get a round of funding, or what were the next steps? And then distribution. You're a small network, and then you get distribution for over what, 60 million
cable homes.
Yeah.
Which is, we are the second fastest growing cable network, and probably the only one, or the second one in the last decade, that was able to get that kind of distribution, being 100% independent.
Mm-hmm.
It goes maybe back to what we talked about, women, but not necessarily just about women. It's about listening to your business partner, and it's about finding opportunities not to come and present what we want to do, but rather how can we bring them value.
Okay.
And every time we pitched a cable operator, the idea behind it was, what in what we do can help you in your goals. So, for example, we once did a cable deal that was about a cable company wanting to feature their technology. So we developed an app where children can actually feature their their art on TV with the Baby First characters. So it's about offering great content, and yes, it's about showing that we have an extremely high retention, all about all the wonderful things we have in our project and in our products, but it's also about always learning your partner really well, understanding what motivates him or her, what would make them do a deal with you, and throwing away what everybody else is doing. And to us, it also helped that we didn't understand English very well. So when we pitched, Guy and myself, our first deal, and one of the cable networks said, very interesting. Where we come from, very interesting means I'm very interested.
Right. So you're like, oh, that's
we
almost
didn't
a green light.
Yeah, so we were able to raise money based on the assumption that they're very interested.
Yes.
While they said very interesting, which we all know means something very different.
Yes.
But talking about raising money, we also did it in a creative way. So the issue with the cable industry is you need a lot of money once somebody says yes. But nobody will give you a lot of money until somebody says yes.
Right.
So we changed the model. We didn't produce a ton of content before we had a yes, but we divided our content strategy to 2.
Okay.
First part was the development of the content, which is very labor intensive, but slightly cheaper to do, and the production, which is way more expensive but requires less of a thinking process. And what we did was we did a ton of development and almost no production.
Okay.
So we could feature what we have, enough to show our providers what we would deliver to them.
Got it.
But do it on very little money. And then we went to investors and said, don't give us money up front. Give us a little bit of money for the development, but guarantee us that if we get you the deals we think we can get, you will immediately give us more.
Okay.
And that allowed us to be ready, while, again, finding creative solutions to problems and listening to what the other side needs, because the investor also wants to manage their risk.
Yeah, incredible. Okay, so now, I mean, obviously, it's gone way beyond Baby First. I mean, you just mentioned all the other entities that you guys have. So maybe just talk a little bit about how you give those stats you gave with your views versus discovery, because I think that was really interesting. But how do you get into the mind of that millennial woman so well? I mean, clearly you have it mastered into what they love and what they're going to share. How do you guys do that?
So we have been talking to millennial women for a decade. They call us, they talk to us. Sometimes we get phone calls as a cable network of, my baby's crying, what should I do? So, and what they've told us, the Baby First viewers, is we don't perceive you as my doctor. We perceive you as my friend who has 2 years of experience.
Oh. Okay.
And we have taken upon ourselves that position where we are never condescending. We will never tell you what to do, because who said I know better than anybody else, or our educational advisors know better than anybody else. And we will just try to give you the things that make your life easier. We have a panel of 500 moms that we talk to all the time. And we constantly hear. But honestly, the best way for us to know that something is working is share rate. And because we're number one in the industry right now in share rate, we know that women are watching. We have also, we read each and every comment, each and every feedback, and we analyze it, and we listen. So we see, did people like what we do? Did they not like what we do? Are they expecting anything different? Are we resonating to our audience, and are we really giving them value? And by doing that, we were able to create the number one most successful video in the world, in the history of Facebook, which is 7 hacks on how to fix your closet. 370 million views, 12 million people shared it.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
It starts with a shot of underwear, which I think maybe men and women like too. But
wow. Okay, so there's so much strategy stuff we could talk to, but I think I would be doing a disservice to my audience if we didn't talk about the emotional side. First of all, you and your husband doing this together and maintaining a loving relationship. Plus, you have 4 children, and you talk a lot in, just in meeting you, listening to other interviews about ditching mom guilt, which is another thing that's really difficult for a lot of women and parents.
I don't believe in guilt.
So what you say that, but how do you just, how?
So
I want to not believe in guilt.
So I don't believe, no, I found out I did have guilt.
Okay.
A lot of guilt. And I was guilty not just to my kids, I was guilty also to my job. I was guilty to my husband.
Everywhere.
I was guilty to myself. I was guilty to my friends. Because everywhere we think, we should be doing this and this and this. And I found out it was consuming so much energy that was not productive. So what I decided to do is let it go. Let the guilt go. And focus the energy on something else. Be 100% present where you are. And time manage. So, for example, I don't sit in every ballet class with my daughters for 2 hours. I can't do it. But we're doing a girls' trip to Costa Rica tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's about deciding what matters. And I also find that what it makes me do is when I'm with my kids, I have chosen to be there. Because I should have been doing also a million other things, but I have made the choice to be there. I am so happy to be there that it makes me all in to be there. And I like to think of choosing everything in our lives to the best of our ability. And we sometimes say we don't have a choice, but we really do have a choice.
Right.
And there's always a choice. And I can tell you, I once had a discussion with my partner about something that I had to do that was very difficult, but very rewarding. And he said, don't do it. And I said, but I can't not do it.
Yeah.
So much money has been invested. And he says, no, don't do it. And when he said that, he said, here are the consequences if you don't do it. Those people who invested it won't invest again. You'll have a lot of done, but you don't really have to do it. And the minute you acknowledge that there's nothing that you really have to do.
Yeah.
It's choices, and you can decide that certain things are worth the choice. I think you can do them a lot more in. So I don't cook at all. I am also very bad at cooking. I also don't clean very well. So I have acknowledged that I am not a good cook. I have somebody helps me with cooking, but I do other things for my family and with my family that I'm good at, that make sense for me, that keep me 100% present with my family and with my work.
Yeah.
And God forbid me too.
Yeah.
I also have friends.
Right.
And I like spending time with them too.
So do you guys have date nights? How do you
Yes, once in a while we have a day that we call a day without first media.
Oh, okay. How often do you do that though? Like once a quarter?
Truth?
Yeah.
Or like pretend?
No, for real.
So we aim at doing it once a week. Sometimes it happens. It's more likely to happen once a month. Because the truth is, we love what we do.
Yeah,
So when you love what you do, it's part of who you are, and it's part of the fun. And I would say my husband and I have this philosophy that we each think we are right 99% of the time. But because we never know what is the 1% that the other is right, we're always respectful. And that helps us work well together.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I could pick your brain forever, but I want to wrap up with my last question before we do a fun segment for you guys. And that is basically just, looking back over your career and thinking out there for someone who wants to start or build their media business. So probably they either want to grow their own personal brand, doing the short Facebook videos and things like that, or build a media business with these sub-brands like you guys have. What's your best advice for them?
So first of all, I would refer them to you, because you've done it.
Working on it.
You've done it in such a phenomenal way. But my best advice to them would be trial and error. Go out there. There was somebody once said to me, if you're releasing a product that you're not completely ashamed of in a year, you release it too late.
That's good. I like that.
Right? So my advice to them is you'll never know what to do before you try. Put one video out there. See what you did good. See what you did bad. Do another. Work fast, because if you work fast and you make mistakes, you'll have enough time to fix them. And really don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Woody Allen said something I really love. 80% of success is just being there.
Showing up.
And just showing up. You're right, you did it better than me. and I think that is so true. It's about, you've done it. It's, you put yourself out there. You acknowledge the fact that you will get slammed in your face.
Yep.
And you say, bring it on. And if you do that over and over and over again, and you constantly focus on what is really your mission, I think people will listen. It has to be a good mission too.
Yeah, so great. Well, thank you so much. We'll be right back after this with a quick hack from her team that you guys are going to love, especially if you're trying to be healthier and eat only egg whites. Okay.
Here are my top 8 keys to success for the rest of us for starting and building a successful content creation machine from my conversation with Sharon Rechter. Number 1, turn your disadvantages into advantages. Early in her career in the boys' club that television was years ago, she decided to take the fact that she was sort of an underdog in the industry and make it into an advantage, seeking not less opportunities, but just different opportunities. She says it's up to women to see and then go and grab those different opportunities. Number 2, forge a path to get to where you want to go. Professionally, Rechter knew where she wanted Baby First to go and began pitching investors according to that vision. Personally, it seems like she's someone who has it all, and she doesn't disagree. She explains that you have to master your time. First, instead of picking a job or a career, decide where you want to end up and make a path for your life, and then work backwards and manage your time according to that path. Number 3, be open to opportunities. Rechter and her husband did not even have children when they launched Baby First, but their friends came over and they saw the opportunity because this couple of new parents had brought 100 blankets and gadgets and a DVD with them. They saw that opportunity and they went after it. How many times have you thought, that's a good idea, or there's definitely an opportunity there, and let it slip away? They decided to jump on it using their background in television, and now they're still going strong over a decade later. Number 4, give your audience more of what they want. Rechter lights up when she talks about the First media audience and the systems they have in place to listen and respond. They read every comment, they reach out to everyone, they do feedback, they analyze, they take calls on the phone. They say they are most proud of and they 100% rely on the fact that people share their videos, which means they're creating content that their viewers really love and want to share with their friends. Number 5, find distribution partners. I will say, for me personally, this has been key to the growth of The Pursuit, is that I have a connection with Entrepreneur Network and I write articles for other sites like Success.com and Lifehack about my articles, meaning that one interview with me goes a long way for my guest. Baby First succeeded because Rechter started securing distribution right away. When you're thinking about getting distribution, think about not the distribution that you want, but the value that you can offer to the distributor. Number 6, prove your concept. When they were trying to get Baby First funded, Rechter decided not to produce a lot of content and instead focus on the development of the content ideas. Development is labor intensive, hours and brain power, but it's much cheaper to do in terms of actually hiring talent and doing production and having a studio. This is another piece of advice that a lot of my guests give. For example, before you launch an online course or a product, send out surveys and pre-sell spots or pre-sell tickets to test the idea. If you want to launch a new blog or podcast, research to see if there are potential viewers and readers ready to consume what you want to create. Number 7, stay agile. If you want to build a platform around your content, Rechter's best advice is to publish often, assess, pivot, rinse, and repeat. First Media lives by some powerful advice she was once given. If you're releasing a product right now that you're not completely ashamed of, you'll release it too late. So quit waiting to try and make something perfect. You have to move fast. Number 8, choose work you love. You may have heard it before, but it's worth repeating. You have a much better chance at becoming a killer content machine if you love the subject matter of your content. You have a much better chance at building a media company if you actually love creating, writing, shooting, and editing. So really think about choosing work that you love.
Now I'd love to know, what was your favorite lesson from this interview? Leave a comment, and if you want to learn the juicy behind the scenes details like what was he like in person, how did I land this interview, see bloopers and more,
go to thepursuit.tv/Sharon Rechter.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna recreate the successful Blossom video that generated over 109 million views, shared by over 1.1 million people, on how to take the
yolk
out, thank you, out of the egg. So you want to do one too?
All right, I'm ready.
Let's break our eggs, and let's not break the yolk.
Yeah.
Oh,
yolk is intact.
Did it.
Yolk is intact.
Now what you need, a water bottle. So you've drank your water, you're healthy.
Yep.
Okay.
We're hydrated.
We're hydrated. We squeeze it, and we then try and release, and voila! And
there,
look here.
Perfect. Nothing.
Look at that.
But whites, egg whites. Guys, you know health is important, so if you're trying to cut down your cholesterol, we just gave you a hack that you can use in your everyday life.
Exactly, and hopefully you'll give us another 100 million views for recreating
Yes,
it.
cheers.
Cheers.
Well, this has been awesome. Thank you again so much. I'm Kelsey Humphreys here with Sharon Rechter, and this has been The Pursuit.